Welcome to the 2016 Speedway Police Department DARE graduation ceremony. Will you please stand for the presentation of our nation's colors by the Speedway Police Department Honor Guard. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may take your seats. Thank you for coming this evening to the graduation ceremony for these 6th grade students. I want to explain a little bit about the DARE program to the parents who may not be very familiar with it. DARE stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. It's a program that was developed in the 1980s by the Los Angeles Police Department. Due to a rise in a number of youth that were involved in gangs and drug-related problems, they did some studies and found that the most successful way that they could help to combat these problems was to have police officers come into the schools and talk with young people about the dangers of drugs and gangs and violence and about the importance of making good choices in their life. The Speedway Police Department implemented the DARE program in 1990. We have now been doing this program in the Speedway schools for 26 years. The DARE program is a lot more than just talking about drugs and gangs, though. We actually spend a very little amount of time talking about those specific topics. We spend the majority of our time talking about important things like making good choices and kids thinking about consequences and about making good decisions so that they can be successful in life. Because we feel that by teaching them some of those things and emphasizing some of those things along with their teachers and their parents, that can help them ultimately to become successful people in life, which really is the goal. I want to introduce to you now our DARE officers that teach in the classrooms. We go into the classrooms each week. We've done so for the past 10 weeks. It's a 10-week program. My name is Sergeant Jim Thiele. I have been a DARE officer for 16 years, and I teach DARE lessons at St. Christopher Elementary and Newby Elementary. Detective Lauren Remke has been a DARE officer for 11 years. She teaches DARE classes at Allison Elementary. Detective Kyle Hodges has been a DARE officer for 9 years, and he teaches DARE lessons at Fisher Elementary and Wheeler Elementary. We are fortunate enough to have a guest speaker with us this evening, Mr. Tom Smith. Mr. Smith is a retired Speedway High School principal and a current school board member here in the town of Speedway. I also got a familiarity with Mr. Smith early on as a DARE officer. My first year, he was still principal at Speedway High School. And I don't know if he remembers this or not, but he would actually bring the kids, when we did role model lessons, to the elementary schools. One of the lessons that we do at the end of the school year for the DARE kids is we bring high school students to each of the 6th grade classes, and we allow the kids the opportunity to ask questions of the high school kids about what types of things they might encounter when they get older and get into high school. And that allows the 6th graders a little bit of a look at what they may be facing in a few years, and to hear it from somebody that is a little bit closer to their age group than somebody like their DARE officers. And it's a pretty successful thing. And Mr. Smith doesn't know this, but when he would come in and bring the kids in, he would kind of help to guide the lesson, and he would ask questions of the high school students to kind of help facilitate the discussion. And I learned a lot from him doing that. And some of the questions that he asked those high school kids, I still ask every year to this day when I teach my role model lessons. And a few of those questions that I learned from him to ask are things like, how has your relationship with your parents changed from the time that you were in 6th grade until the time that you were in high school? I think that's a pretty big question. Another one is, how do you manage your time now that you're in high school? And everybody knows how busy high schoolers are between jobs and social events and sports and homework and family activities and things like that. And the final question that he would always ask of those high school students, he would tell them, if you had one piece of advice that you could give these 6th grade students that you wish maybe somebody had told you when you were in 6th grade, what would it be? And I still ask all of those questions to this day, and I really appreciate his help and guidance and kind of being involved in our program in that way. And so we are happy to welcome him back to give us some of his remarks this evening. So please welcome Mr. Tom Smith.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Sergeant Teeley. And before I begin my remarks, I would like to pass on my congratulations, first of all, to Chief Campbell. Our town is very, very fortunate to have a police chief like Chief Campbell. Our town is very fortunate to have the police officers like the ones you see sitting on the stage, like the ones that presented the colors, and all the others. Every chance I get, I thank them for their service to our town. We are very, very fortunate in this town to have the police and fire and teachers and school administrators that we have in a small town. We expect the best, we get the best, and Chief, I know you're there at the back, but thank you again for all you and your officers, both men and women, do for this town. Thank you very much. I'll add one other plug before I start, and that is 3 or 4 years ago, I decided to attend the Citizens Police Academy that we have here in town. And while I really didn't need anything to build my image of what a police officer does, I didn't need something to build that up, that's what it did. And I would encourage you parents to get a hold of the police department, call, find out when the next class is. I should have found the answer to that before I got up here. But I would encourage all of you to get involved in that Police Citizens Academy. You will actually fire guns, you will drive a police car on a road course, you will see what the SWAT team does, you'll see when they pull over someone what they expect to happen. It's very enlightening, very educational, and I would encourage you as parents to, we've had teachers from the high school that do not live here in Speedway who have gone through that, and I've never heard anyone say a negative thing about the Citizens Academy that our police department puts on here in this town. So thank you once again for that as well. It's my honor and pleasure tonight to address both parents and the DARE graduates. My wife and I graduated from Speedway High School 51 years ago. I attended as a youngster, like many of you, I attended both Fisher and Newby Elementaries. My wife and I had 3 children. They all 3 attended Allison Elementary. All 3 graduated from Speedway High School. My son's an officer in the Navy, but my 2 daughters have chosen, along with their husbands who they married, who went to Speedway High School. So for you 6th graders, maybe out here's your husband or wife and you really don't know it yet. but they both married students who went to Speedway High School as well. I have 10 grandchildren, and my son, as I said, who's an officer in the Navy, has 3 children that live outside of Speedway. The other 7 live here in Speedway. All 7 are presently in our school system from kindergarten to sophomores in high school. So we are a Sparkplug family. And my intent tonight is to share some of the simple and hopefully clear thoughts that I have learned over a long period of time about being a successful parent and what is needed to be a successful student. Working at Speedway High School for 20 years as a teacher and 13 more years as an administrator gave me the opportunity to observe thousands of parents and thousands of students. And what I'm going to share with you tonight are things that if you ask my 3 children, they could tell you the things that I'm going to say before I say them. Because the things I'm going to say to you as students are things I've told my own children. The things I'm going to say to you as parents and some messages are things of my observance, as I say, over a long period of time in this town of watching successful parents and unsuccessful parents, some things that I would share with you that hopefully can help you. My wife and I learned a lot in raising our children. And she is here tonight, and if I would ask her, she'd be embarrassed to stand up, but if I ask her about raising children, she said if it would be an easy thing, why would it start with a word called labor? And I think there's a lot of truth to that. So I'm going to start tonight with the suggestions for parents. The first suggestion I would make as your child grows, and hopefully you're already doing this, if you're not, I hope you start, get to know who your kids' friends are and who their parents are. Put their phone numbers on your refrigerator. Have those children come to your house or your apartment and see them in action with your children. See if they're the kind of kids you want your kids around. One of the things, if you find your child has made good choices in who their friends are and you want them to stay around, feed them. Get food when the kids come over. If they come over to study or they come over to play, make some brownies or cookies or something. You will find they will return a lot easier if you've got some snacks or food of some sort there for them. The next one I think probably most of you know, but I want to make sure you do. As a parent, understand that if you would ever make the poor choice to serve alcohol or drugs of any sort at your home, and while many of you think, oh, that never happens, yes, it does. You are responsible. You can go to jail. You can lose your home. You can lose everything by serving underage people alcohol and or drugs of other sorts. Please do not be part of the people who make the decision thinking my kids will think I'm cool if I do this. So lesson number 1, know your children's friends, know their parents. Lesson number 2, set aside time every day to talk to your children. I read something not too long ago that said the average parent spends less than 7 minutes a day conversing with their children. 7 minutes a day. Talk to your kids about what's going on at school. Talk to them about their friends. Talk to them about their favorite teacher. Talk to them about a class they like. But set aside time every day. When you get home from work and you're tired, make it a goal of yours from this night on to say, I'm going to take some time and talk to my child every day. That way, when your child has a problem, an issue, something they're concerned about, they're going to feel comfortable, more comfortable coming and talk to you if you have talked to them. So don't be afraid to initiate the conversation. Suggestion number 3, don't be afraid to say no to your child when other parents are saying yes. Don't fall into the trap that I've seen many parents fall into, that when your son or daughter comes home and says, but Mom, everyone's going to this party. Or Mom, everyone is going to buy one of these. Don't be afraid to say no when other parents are saying yes. When my wife and I were raising our 3 kids, I'll go back a step. When I was dating my wife, my girlfriend at the time in high school, her father had a rule that she had to be in at midnight till she was 21 years old. Now, I don't know that that's the right time. I've heard a lot of people say whatever you would do after midnight can't be good anyway. But when I was dating her, I thought that was about the dumbest rule anybody could ever have. And then I became a parent. And I decided that that rule was a pretty good rule. And I know one time my son was a sophomore in college and he was 20 years old, and he came home one summer night and he said, "Dad, do you know that I have to be in earlier than every single one of my friends has to be in?" And I said, "Chad, if they lived here, they'd be coming home the same time you are. They just don't live here." So parents, don't be afraid to set rules that are important to you for your children, regardless of what anyone else is doing. Children will try to climb the fences you build around them. Your job is to keep them safe. The parameters, the rules you have in your house, trust me, your children will try just like you tried to do to get by those, to climb that fence and go out here somewhere where they aren't safe. Your job's to get them back on the side of the fence as a parent and keep them safe. I want to share with you something that I don't know how many years ago it was I talked at their graduation, but I read this that night and I'm going to read it again. And the title of it is Dear Son or Daughter. And it goes like this: as long as you live in this house, you will follow the rules. When you have your own house, you can make your own rules. In this house, we do not have a democracy. I did not campaign to be your father. You did not vote for me. We are father and son or daughter by the grace of God. And I accept that privilege and that awesome responsibility. And in accepting that responsibility, I have an obligation to perform the role of a father. I'm not your pal. Our ages are too different, and we can share many things, but we're not pals. I'm your father, and that's 100 times more important than what a pal is. I'm also your friend, but we're on entirely different levels. You will do in this house as I say, and you cannot question me because whatever I ask you to do, I do because I love you. This will be hard for you to understand until you have a child of your own. Until then, trust me. Pretty good advice. So that I don't forget it, and that is one, I'm going to make reference to 2 other things, and I have made copies of these. When this is over, you as a parent, if you want copies of what I just read or what I will speak to later, there are copies on a table outside in the hallway. If you're interested in getting one of those, help yourself. The 4th thing I would say to parents is to teach your child how to get through the tough times. One of my favorite sayings, and all 3 of my children could recite it by word, it's not how you handle the good times that are important, it's how you handle the bad ones. Anyone, student, parent, can handle the good times. That's easy when things are going right. It's when they're not going well, how do you deal with that? And I think it's important as parents to help teach your child how to get through when they get a bad grade, or when they get cut from the team, or when they don't get the lead in the play, or when they get their first ticket from the police department. I think it's your job as a parent to help teach your child. And I know my wife and I use that many times by using our own experiences, how to get through that. When a son or daughter of yours breaks up with somebody or is hurt in some way. Parents, help them get through those things without blaming other people. When the bad grade comes, don't blame the teacher. Don't allow your child to. When the speeding ticket comes, don't blame the policeman. Teach your child to slow down. Help them learn how to get through the tough times, because that's what will have a big part in deciding whether they're successful or not, in how you get through times when they're not the way you want them to be. And I think that's a responsibility of parenting. People ask me after I retired oftentimes, what's the biggest change you saw in education in 33 years of being at Speedway High School? And my answer may surprise you a little. What changed the most was parents. It was not kids. If you give kids choices, most often they'll choose what they should choose if you give them choices. And don't embarrass them in front of the rest of the class. But for parents, what changed the most is, I think, somewhere along the line we've lost as parents the ability to teach our kids to have a conscience. I know I'm much older than you as parents, but I look back in my own life many times, and while I wasn't perfect, and I had my share of poor decisions, and we all make them, I think so many times when I had choices to make, thinking back as a student, what will my mom and dad think if I get caught doing this? And that kept me from making a poor decision. I didn't want to disappoint my parents. And somewhere along the line, we've lost that, or many people have. We've lost that ability. And if we need to regain it, and we want to regain it, what we have to do is we have to be willing as parents to tell your kids when you're proud of them, that you are proud of them. And you have to tell your parents when you're disappointed to your children that they've disappointed you. I look back at my life's experiences, and the few times in my life that my father said he was disappointed in me was some of the most hurtful times. Not that he hurt me, it that I hurt him. And I think so many young people today, when they make decisions, don't think about who else is affected by the decision I make. All they think about is me. Nobody's ever said they were disappointed in me. Nobody's ever told me they were proud of me. So who cares what decision I make? They don't recognize that they hurt a lot of people when they make poor decisions. So hopefully the fifth one, that you will go to work if you need to go to work on helping your child by telling them when you're proud, but also telling them when you're disappointed in decisions that they've made. And get them to understand that lots of people are affected, that parents are affected, grandparents are affected, brothers and sisters are affected by poor decisions that people make. These 5 things, if you work on these, will help build relationships with your child that will give them a greater opportunity not only to be successful, but to remain away and stay away from those things and those people that drugs do to families. And now to the students. If you're a student at Allison Elementary and you were in the 4th grade in Mrs. Williams' class, you may remember some of the things that I'm going to say right now. Because these are all 3 things, and I know when I've read on Dr. Seuss Week at Allison every year, and I talk about these next 3 things I'm going to talk about, there are times when I've called my children on the phone and had them say out loud before the students these 3 things. Because I'll guarantee you, my 3 children could all recite these 3 things. These, to me, are the most important things that you right here in the front row can be paying attention to for the next several years and maybe the rest of the years of your life. The most important thing, in my view, is to be a good person. Being a good person is a lot of things. It's being hardworking. It's being responsible. It's being loyal. It's being honest. It's being a good friend. It's sharing. It's being humble. It's being kind. It's a lot of things. We could go on and on with that list. But I want each one of you to ask yourself, can I buy those things? Are they for sale? Can I have them if I'm rich and not have them if I'm poor, or vice versa? Can I have them if I'm tall and not have them if I'm short, or vice versa? Can I have them if I'm black or white or brown or yellow? Can I have all those things for me? And the answer to that is yes. Those are all choices you make. They're not things you can buy. They're not things you can inherit. They're not things somebody can give you. Those are choices, rather to work hard. It's a choice to be kind. It's a choice to tell the truth. All the things that go into being a good person are there for every single person in this room, if they choose to do them. So first of all, most important, be a good person. It's a choice each one of you make and will continue to make throughout your life. The second most important thing is being the best student I can be. Now notice I didn't say the best student in the class. I want the highest grade. I want straight A's. I'm not saying don't want those things. All I'm saying is whatever is the best you can do, then that's what you should get from yourself. That's the same as the first thing. Do you have to be tall or skinny or smart or cute or white or black or brown? Or a male or a female? Or have short hair or long hair? No. Being the best student you can be is a choice you make every day. Do I do my daily work? Do I ask questions of my teacher? When I don't understand something, what do I do about it? Those are all choices you make. Whether you're rich or poor makes no difference in those choices. Your attempt to be the best student you can be, and as an adult to be a lifelong learner and continue to seek and learn about things you don't know about, are all choices we make. Being a good person, being the best student that I can be. And the third one is find something to do in your spare time that you enjoy doing, that you're pretty good at, that when life throws you a curveball and you have tension or stress or things aren't going right, something you can turn to. I compare life a lot to a balloon. And as you know, sometimes balloons don't have much air in them, and sometimes they got a lot. And in your life as a child or your life as an adult, when you get too much air in that balloon, that's a dangerous situation. You need to find some little pin to stick in that balloon that's going to let a little bit of the air out. Maybe what you enjoy doing in your spare time is reading a book. Maybe you enjoy playing the guitar, the piano. Maybe you enjoy throwing a football. Maybe you enjoy taking a walk. Maybe you enjoy going to the kitchen and cooking something. Maybe you like doing crossword puzzles. Whatever it may be, as both students and adults, we need to find things that will allow us to release some of that pressure when it builds up in life so your balloon doesn't fly out of control. One of the important things in being a good person is being drug-free. And hopefully you've listened through your DARE program to these people. Hopefully that you have seen people on TV, maybe somebody in your family that hasn't made the right choice, that will help you to make the right choice. The extra thing I would mention other than those three things goes back to something I talked about just a moment ago. A man named H. Jackson Brown wrote a book called 21 Suggestions for Success. Like I said earlier, a copy of it, not the book, but a copy of the 21 things to do if you want to be successful. It's on the table outside. The very last one Suggestion 21 is don't do anything that won't make your mom proud. That's a pretty good one. Next time you got a decision to make, do I do this, do I do this? Think about suggestion 21. Will my mom be proud? Which way is she going to be proud? That's the one I need to choose. Pretty good advice. Think about what my parents would think. The last suggestion for both parents and students is to make sure to tell the people you love that you love them every chance you get. 13 years ago, next month, my youngest daughter's fiance was killed in a car wreck. He left our house, driving home to Plainfield on the interstate, and a truck driver pulled over to the right-hand side of the road. It was nighttime, it was dark, and a truck driver decided he wanted to be on I-70 East, not I-70 West, turned all the lights out on his truck, and right as my daughter's fiance got there in his car, the truck driver pulled across the interstate to cross the median and make a U-turn. My daughter's fiance got killed. One of the things that has stuck with our family since that time is when he left our house that night, he said, "Amy, I love you. Do you ever get tired of me saying that?" And she said, "I never get tired of hearing you say that." "Did you know I love you?" He said, "Yeah." "How do you know that?" She said, "Because you tell me all the time." Every time my family has a conversation now on the phone, we see one another in person, we always end that meeting with "I love you." And I always get "I love yous" back. My parents have both passed away, but when they passed away, I know that they knew that I loved them. So students, if you would go home tonight and go up to mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or aunt or uncle, whoever you live with, and for no reason in their mind, just walk up, give them a hug and say, "I love you," how would they respond? Would they say, "Okay, what did you do at school today?" Would they say, "Do you need some money to buy something?" If that's the case, then you're not doing it enough. If they give you a simple "I love you" back, that's a pretty good situation you're in then, because you do that frequently. And I would encourage you to continue to do that. In conclusion, I'll repeat real quickly what I told the adults. 1, know your children's friends and their parents. 2, set aside time every day to talk to your child. 3, don't be afraid to say no when other parents are saying yes. 4, teach your child how to get through the bad times, through the tough times when it's not the way they want it to be. And 5, tell them when you're proud of them, but also tell them when they've disappointed you. Help them develop a conscience so that in their making choices, they're thinking, what would the people that I love at home think if I did this? For you students, be a good person. Be drug-free. Be hardworking. The world is in dire need of people who work hard, who show up on time, and who have a good attitude. You will leapfrog past many people in your life, in school and in the world of work, by being a good person and being there on time and being loyal and being hardworking. Be the best student you can be. If the best you can do is get B's, then get all B's. If the best you can do is get all C's, get all C's. If the best you can do is get all A's, then by all means, get straight A's. I'm a country music fan, and there's a song out right now that I mentioned 2 of the words just a moment ago. It's by Tim McGraw. And if you listen to country music, you know that the song is entitled, "Always Be Humble and Kind." I want to read just two little short parts from that song. The second verse says, hold the door, say please, and say thank you. Don't steal, don't cheat, and don't lie. I know you got mountains to climb, but always stay humble and kind. When the dreams you're dreaming come to you, when the work you put in is realized, let yourself feel the pride, but always be humble and kind. And the last verse says, don't take for granted the love this life gives you. When you get where you're going, don't forget to turn back around and help the next one in line. Always be humble and kind. Thank you to adults. Thank you for your parenting. Thank you for your students. Students, thank you for being part of an outstanding school system. Do your part to keep it that way. And in doing so, stay drug-free. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Smith, for those fantastic remarks. Just want to take a couple of minutes to recognize the teachers and the principals at the schools that we teach the DARE program at. So before I say the names of these folks, I just want to let all the parents know out there that as DARE officers, we really appreciate the fact that we have such fantastic principals and teachers. Principals that welcome the program into their schools. They don't have to do that. We really appreciate that. We also appreciate the fact that the teachers oftentimes incorporate the lessons that we teach in there with other lessons that they may have, such as health lessons or social studies lessons, and help to emphasize some of the points that we make in the class as well. They're truly partners with us in teaching this program, and we definitely appreciate that as well, and we want to recognize them. So as I say your names, teachers and principals, if you could just please stand at your place just quietly, and then we can recognize you after I've announced everybody. From Allison Elementary, our teachers Michelle Chasteen and Angie Lawrence, and Principal Jay Bedwell. From Fisher Elementary, our teacher Kevin Burke, and Principal Betsy Snap. From Newby Elementary, our teacher Michael Shoulders, and Principal Tony Galliano. From St. Christopher Elementary, our teachers Shannon Betts and teacher Amber Barker, Principal Karen King. And from Wheeler Elementary, our teachers Jeff Mahan, teacher Ryan Simmons, and our Principal Brenda Wolf. Let's recognize these people. We will now have the presentation of our certificates to our 6th grade DARE graduates. We're going to begin with Allison Elementary, then we'll have Fisher Elementary, Newby Elementary, St. Christopher Elementary, and Wheeler Elementary.
Well, we had it all planned out, but anyways, we just want to start the evening by recognizing the Speedway Police Department since it's Police Officer Appreciation Week, and the staff and students at Allison Elementary would like to thank them for everything they do for the community and for the schools, especially during the month of May. It's an extra busy month for them, and their job is busy year-round anyway. And then before we finish thanking the entire police department, we'd also like to personally thank Officer Remke, Detective Remke, for coming into the classroom every week. She always does a fabulous job. She has a great rapport with the children, and so we have a gift for her as well. So a poster thanking her, and then we have a card for you. So thank you. Okay, so thank you. You can get back in line now in alphabetical order. Are they ready? I can't see them. Okay. Cody Adams. Congratulations, Cody. Vanessa Arias Mendez. Leo Carter. Good job, Leo. Jordan Davis. Good job, Jordan. Anthony Espicay. Alexander Garcia. Tuesday Gui. Good job, Tuesday. Anae Hughes. Alex Hutchek. Terias Oning. Good job, Terias. Pal Shu Po. Brian Reese. Angel Robledo. Sophie Toussaint. Good job, Sophie. Asa Wah. Good job, Asa. Mackenzie White. And Annette Yama.
Sophiane Abubakar. Keely Bain. Nate Baker. Valerie Chan. Lucas Eversole. Briley Fry. Sergey Lur. Jimmy Lynn. Elijah Givens, Michaela Person, Katie Petrovich, Jessie Ray Smith, Gavin Stevens, Claire Whitaker, Nia Woods,
Next, if we could get our DARE graduates from Fisher Elementary.
Before we pass these out, thank you very much. Detective Hodges, it's great seeing you every week, and great friend, and thank you for all the police department, best ever. And we thank you, in our thoughts and prayers every day, every day. Mr. Smith, it seems like yesterday I was in your history class at Speedway High School. Best 3 years of my life. All right. First off, we have Madison Beaudry. Gage Deal Preston. Lexi Fry. Michaela Grimes. Sam Guaro. Bree Logan. Haley McCracken. Jerry Ann Mead. Kristen Pagash. Ethan Pratt. Ava Theodore. And Brody Wilson.
Next, if we could get our DARE graduates from Newby Elementary.
I too want to thank Sergeant Teely for coming into our classroom every week. I know I look forward to it, the kids look forward to it, and we all learn something and come out of it much wiser each week. So it's truly remarkable seeing what we come up with. So without further ado, Addison Bartley. Ariana Black. Armand Clayton. Boubacar Diallo. Christian Gerhardt. Ashton Harmon. Carlin Kemp. Abigail Moldacious. Jacob Parson. Jack Prechtel. Bryce Robinson. Ibrahim Shaw. Jackson Smith. Kaya Thomas. Caden Thompson. And Brennan Young.
Next, if we could have our DARE graduates from St. Christopher Elementary.
Once again, thank you for all that you do to Detective Teely. We love having him come and talk to us and teach us, so thank you very much. The Certificate of Achievements go to Emma Balding, Julie Barber, Lucas Sesnick, Josiah Kleinert, Diego Eke. Maggie Endries. Shay Hamblin. Ian Hilligoss. Karime Martinez. Alejandro Pabon. Stephen Quinnett. Julian Reinecker. Olivia Struby. Cole Trito. Daniel Vagley.
Aiden Ballou. Abby Blastic. Julie Collin. Kevin Elliott. Elise Hall. Victoria Harmon. Ethan Jost. Mazria Loco. Dana Montserrat. Elijah Moses. Sean Negralis. Armand Smith. Christina Wilson. And James Zor.
And last but not least, if we could get our dear graduates from Wheeler Elementary.
Also, I'd like to just reiterate what everyone else has said before. Detective Hodges comes to our room once a week. The kids really enjoy that time. It's a break from listening to me talk about things and get to hear about the great thing that Detective Hodges and the rest of the police department are doing day in and day out. So thank you to that. Logan Buck. Stephanie Castillo. Kieran Chaplin. Carol Diaz. Nairi Ezel. Jackson Golden. Andrea Govea Flores. Jasmine Hutchinson. Miracle Macon. Jenna Moore. Kansas Robinson. Grace Teeley.
I too just want to reiterate what all the other teachers have said. We really enjoy having Detective Hodges come into our classroom. It's been a great experience over the last 10 weeks, and I know that the students have really learned a lot. First, we have Brianna Bailey. Zoe Bishop. Melinda Bryant. Hayden Crozier. Bole Doe. AJ Dorton. Eli Gottman. Kiwanis McGee. Jada Morris. Mickey Perez. Collar Pue. Manny Ruvalcaba. Reese Walker. Grace White. And Raymond Zarco.
Let's give a big round of applause to all of our 2016 DARE graduates. Just want to give a few closing remarks. One of the things that Mr. Smith talked about was how one of the true tests to a person's character is how they handle things during the difficult times, when things don't go their way, not just when things are going well. One of the things I want to stress to our sixth graders is that's going to happen to you. There's going to be times that things don't go your way, and you're going to have to handle some things that you really would rather not. I want to tell you about a man who had some stumbles of his own. At the age of 7, his family lost their home. When he was 9, his mother died. By the time he was 19, his sister had passed away as well. Things weren't going very well for this guy, but he didn't give up. At the age of 22, he started his own small business. It failed. The following year, he ran for the state legislature. He lost. He tried to go to law school, but he wasn't accepted. He borrowed some money and tried to start another business, certain that this time it would be successful. It wasn't. His business went bankrupt. The following year, he had a small victory. He again ran for the state legislature. This time he won. But the victory was bittersweet because the following year, his fiancée died. He was grief-stricken for a long time after that, but he never gave up. At the age of 27, he ran for Speaker of the state legislature. You guessed it, he lost. A few years later, he fell in love again and was married. Things were looking up for him, so the following year he ran for the United States Congress. But he was defeated. A few years after that, he ran again for the U.S. Congress, and he won. But when he ran for re-election 2 years later, he was again defeated. As if things couldn't get any worse, his son Edward died. 4 years after that, he ran for the United States Senate. You guessed it again, he lost again. Nothing seemed to go right for this guy, and the few victories that he had certainly did not come easily. I think many of us would have considered giving up at this point, but not this man. He refused to quit, and in the year 1860, Abraham Lincoln was elected as the 16th President of the United States of America. He went on to keep the Union together during the Civil War and signed the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing many slaves. He is widely considered to be the greatest president who ever lived. But things didn't come easy for Abraham Lincoln. I hope that when you 6th grade students are faced with some stumbles and defeats in your life, you'll battle on just like Abraham Lincoln did. I want to thank you all for coming tonight, and please drive safely.